Hump Day, everybody. This is your daily live 420 report with your good pal, jer-dog. What's up? Katrina Brown, the mutant queen of comedy, is going to be calling in just a little bit as my special guest today, Hump Day Happy Hour with a headliner. I try to do this every Wednesday as a general theme. I don't always get to it. We don't always get a different headliner that is available to call in and hang out with me and join the conversation on a Facebook live video with you. But in any case, pretty much every Wednesday, I've got a cocktail ready to go and in my hand. So while I'm waiting for Katrina to call in, let me give a shout out to everybody here. Trina, LP Baker, Justin Robbins is here, Bobby's here, D is here. Guys, thank you very much. Hit the share button, hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the laugh button. Leave me a question, leave me a comment. I'm going to fix myself a drink while I'm waiting for Katrina to call in and the audience to build, and I'll go over the upcoming show dates at the same time. So just hang with me. Just hang in there for just a couple of minutes, and we'll get to the real fun part of the episode as soon as Katrina Brown calls in, unless she's punking my ass and just told me that she was going to call in and is actually not going to show up today. But thanks for being here, everybody. Ryan Schultz is in the house. Speaking of which, upcoming shows next Saturday night in Stoughton, Wisconsin. That's June 23rd. I will be at Lawns Tailgaters. Hit up Ryan for tickets. You definitely want to get them because they're going fast. My phone's been blowing up like crazy over the last 2 days. People wanting tickets. Lawns Tailgaters, June 23rd, Stoughton, Wisconsin. This Friday night, I'll be in Munster, Indiana. This Friday, June 15th at Johnny's Tap. So you want to get your tickets for that. Those are also going fast if there are any left. I think that there are. But I'll put all the information on how you can get yours in the description of the video above. Right now, I'm working on, and then I've got my show with Katrina Brown, who I'm hoping fucking calls in. I want to make sure I gave her the right number. Maybe I gave her the wrong number. I know I texted it to her. Holy shit, there she is. The woman of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. We're joined on the 420 report by the mutant queen of comedy herself, Katrina Brown. Say hello to everybody, Katrina.
Hello, everybody. Katrina.
You called in at the right time because I was just about to promote our show that we have coming up this Saturday night, Rock Falls, Illinois. It's the He Said, She Said comedy battle of the sexes. 2.5 hours. It's probably going to wind up being about 3 hours because they're going to do an intermission where they're giving away a lot of door prizes, part of a free raffle included with every ticket purchased.
Okay.
So, hey, shout out to Jessica and Cheryl. Michael, what's up? Jessica says, can't wait till I see you again. That's going to be next Saturday, June 23rd, when I'm in Stoughton, Wisconsin at Lawns Tailgaters. Katrina, this is Hump Day Happy Hour, and you know how I do. I love my drinky drinks. So I've got a big old bottle of Jägermeister. I've got a 3/4 glass full of ice, and I've got a can of some sort of real cane sugar root beer from California. So I'm making myself what's called a dirty mug, a couple of shots of Jaeger, and then topped off with some root beer. And it's the perfect cocktail for the summertime. After we do this, I'm going to go grill out, and I'm going to take my wife out, and then I'm going to bang her brains out.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
What's going on with you these days?
Our central air conditioner took a shit on us, so I am a hot, sweaty, humid, cranky mess. Other than that, everything's peaches.
Well, and I know how much you hate that.
Oh my God, yes.
When we went, we had some shows about a year ago, actually, a little over a year ago. Last year, Katrina and I took our Westward Ho tour, part 1, out to Arizona and LA. Southern California. We stopped in Vegas. So in any case, the point is we're hitting up a lot of areas that it was pretty warm weather, to say the least. It was like the middle of May, and Katrina was dying, especially when we hit Yuma, Arizona. That motherfucker was hot.
That was miserable. The show was wonderful, but the weather was miserable. I would so much rather be cold than hot on any given day of the week. You can put more clothes on, you can only get so naked. And, yeah, it's too hot for me. I don't like it. Spoiled. I'm used to my central air conditioning by the end of the week, so
yeah.
First summer hasn't hit yet. So I'm safe for now. The family's safe. There's no one's causing bodily harm to someone else for frustration just yet. So we're good.
Well, you know, they can be cranky. I think audiences get a little cranky when it's too warm.
Yeah, and there are places that I walk in and I'm thinking I'm going to die because there's no air moving, and 100, 200 people shoved in a room. You've got that body heat thing happening, and then it's hot outside. There's no escaping it. Yeah, it tends to make people a bit cranky.
Yeah, especially I was going to say, especially some of these shows that we do where they really cram them in like sardines, some of the smaller clubs that we do where it's a nice, tight, packed, intimate audience. And if they don't keep it cool, it's going to smell like some BO up in there real quick. David Letterman keeps his studio like at 59 degrees or something like that. Or when he was doing his show, he kept his studio at 59 degrees because he said that was the perfect temperature where they were almost uncomfortable, but where they got the most laughs.
It's miserable for the performers, but I think the audience suffers as well. I worked down in Tennessee, I forget how many years back when Side Splitters was still there, and the AC went out in the middle of summer with the heat index. And I really thought they would cancel the shows, and they didn't. And that club held 300, 350 people, and they sold out every night. And between shows that night, I had to run back to the hotel because I had to change absolutely every piece of clothing I had on me was soaked. It was disgusting. I mean, it was just not even like uncomfortable. It was foul. It was a chemistry experiment of fluids and odors and humidity. The whole atmosphere changed. Tropical climate of funk was the best.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting dynamic because when I came up doing comedy, it was literally on the streets in the summertime doing Wild West shows in amusement parks 5 times a day. And it was, I mean, that's about as challenging a conditions as you can possibly think to deliver comedy because you've also got the roller coasters going off next to you that are distracting. You've got any number of distractions. And I mean, and even though the shows are only 15, 20 minutes, sometimes we'd even go longer, like half an hour. But we're also dressed up in like full on Wild West gear with 15 pounds of guns and bullets on us and, you know, full on pants and boots and spurs and hats and bandanas and everything. So what you're talking about, that chemistry experiment that you find in your soggy ass underwear between shows, that's exactly what was going on 5 times a day for 10 years when I was coming up in comedy. So now when I go out and I do like these summertime shows, we did one last summer in Springfield, Ohio, that bikers bar where they did like a comedy under the stars kind of a thing at night. Yeah. A lot of comedians, that shit freaks them out because it's not the usual conditions, but that's how I was brought up. That's just taking me back to boot camp.
Nothing's ever going to freak me out enough that I would let it show, but internally I will think, oh shit, mostly because And I read somewhere that it's a certain type of, I think it's a blood type or some body chemistry where you are susceptible to like mosquito bites and bee stings where they're drawn to you. And I did a college gig in Mansfield years ago outside, and I looked like I had the measles by the time I was done from mosquitoes that came at me, and no one else on the show was bit up, maybe 1 or 2. You know, like they were the appetizer and I was the main course.
Right.
And that's another concern I have because it's, you know, when you're trying to concentrate and do your show and in the moment you're smacking at bugs that are feasting on your body, it's not very fun. It's not what I would consider a top gig in the memory at all. It's not comfortable. And plus, with metal plate in my head, I retain heat differently, so I'm just fucking miserable. and it's not good for anyone. I try not to be a bitch about it, but I can only take it so far, and then I'm gonna whine like a little not.
Well, that is one thing I will say about you, and you know, we can chalk this up to a man-woman thing, because that's what the He Said, She Said comedy show is all about: exploring the differences between the genders, uniting the genders, dismantling the stereotypes, and keeping it fun and funny all the way through. Even though sometimes Katrina and I go back and forth and bicker, I think those are what makes one of the best parts of the show. Personally, a lot of good material come out of it for future shows. But do you think, because, okay, my wife also gets eaten up like crazy by mosquitoes. In fact, we've got some random mysterious mosquito that's flying around in our bedroom. Every morning she is waking up and it looks like she's got smallpox or some shit from all these mosquito bites that she's gotten over the night, and it's completely avoided me. Do you think that's a man-woman thing? Do you think that mosquitoes are just generally more attracted to women?
Well, if it's a chemistry thing, it's possible. You know, if there's something in the estrogen or where a woman is in her cycle could have something to do with it. There are pheromones that we put out that we can't quantify. So it could be a gender thing. I don't know. Because now that I think about it, my boys have never really had a problem. Neither does Pat. But then when we do our family trips to the zoo, the park, or whatever, I'm the one that gets eat up.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, because I need to have more oddities, I've developed allergic reactions to very innocuous bites and stings. I know, it's always something with me. I don't know if they're out there where you are, but I'll tell you, woolly bears, caterpillars that are furry in the fall.
Yeah, like the black and orange ones.
Yeah, we call them woolly bears.
Okay.
The Woolly Bear Festival up in Cleveland, because we get so many goddamn woolly bears. And I used to play with them when I was a kid. You know, I'd take them off a tree. I was a tomboy. I was bugs. I didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I had one land on my leg, fell from a tree, and I was sitting down, land on my leg. And I brushed it with my hand, and then I scratched my neck. Within seconds, my neck was tired. And I had like 150 my hand from all those spindly, prickly things. Ended up at Stat Care having to get IV antibiotics. I got cellulitis in my fucking hand from a goddamn caterpillar. A caterpillar. Not a spider. This wasn't a brown recluse spider. Holy shit, she's going to lose her hand thing. It was a motherfucking caterpillar. It was swollen like a Mickey Mouse glove. The doctor couldn't believe it. If you'd have waited another day, we'd have had to admit you to the hospital. I'm like, for a caterpillar. Jeremy,
yeah.
For a caterpillar. Do you understand now why nature is not my fucking friend? It's a caterpillar, dude.
And that's why she's called the mutant queen of comedy, people. You know, I know you do those, you know, you've got like your mutant queen of comedy bits that you do, and you want to retire a lot of that stuff. But based on stories that you just now told me, you could, that mutant queen of comedy hook, you've got a zillion stories that could fall under that premise where you could always be changing up the material. You know, you're damn near an X-Men.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No shit. I think I am, because my superpowers are no hangovers.
No, funny as shit, no hangovers.
And my wicked sense of smell.
And
I have like the strongest sense of smell when my kids were toddlers. I can smell their shit before they shit. I'm not kidding. You can ask my husband. I go get a diaper. He goes, they don't need to change. I'm like, give them a minute. They're working on it. Not fronting. But it was right there, and a second later, one of them would start shitting themselves. I'm like, see, I smelled it before it happened. So there's that. I don't know what good that would do, you know, as I'm out and about as a comedian. Like, hey, that drunk is about to vomit. I can smell it. It's not coming up yet. Maybe it's coming. You know, I don't know if that would help. But
well, you know, and some of those superpowers, they don't really serve much of a purpose. They're more like side effects of the other superpowers. And then with every superpower, you have the equal and opposite flaw. It's like super flaw. The plate in your head, the attractability to bugs, the low resistance to hot weather.
Sure.
You know, what else?
The mutant boobs, but I had those fixed.
Mutant boobs. You're short.
Hey, I'm not short enough for it to be listed as a handicap on my driver's license.
No.
I have sisters who have that, but I'm not that. I'm the tallest woman in my family.
Oh my God, you're talking about caterpillars earlier. I have to walk at like a caterpillar's pace just in order to make sure I don't leave Katrina behind.
I'm always yelling at everybody with their long ass legs, and I'm like, Stumpy over here, slow it down, slow it down. And now the boys, both of my friends are taller than me. So whenever we go anywhere, I'm the mom. Like, no wonder I'm hot outside. It's not the heat. I am in a dead sprint trying to keep up with everybody. You can't make a fat girl run after everybody and expect me not to be hot.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Art Walters, who is our contact from the Eagles Club, where Katrina and I will be bringing our He Said, She Said comedy show, Comedy Battle of the Sexes. Unlike any other comedy show you're going to see, even other comedy battle of the sexes out there, you're not going to see a show like this. There is no other show that you can truthfully say we go at it like cats and dogs. And at the same time, it's all in good fun. The best part of the show, you get an hour of me, you get an hour of Katrina. I'm basically like her foil. I get up there, I talk my shit up. She gets up there, and then she pretty much has all the counterpoints, but sometimes also the stuff that she agrees with me on, and then we get on stage together.
Well, be more than people assume we will. I mean, I think, and you've brought it up, I have more of a male-centric brain than a female-centric brain, and I don't know sometimes if that helps or hurts me, but it's always funny.
It is, and I think that's what helps keep the audience on their toes, because the stuff that we disagree on, it's generally the stuff that people would assume that we would agree on, and the stuff that we do agree on is the stuff that people would also think the opposite. Like, it's the stereotypes that most people have in their heads about relationships that you and I tend to agree on. But where I think it gets interesting is when we start going back and forth about all the little nuances. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, me neither. It's so much fun because our arguments on stage, they never feel personal to a degree where someone could be offended and taking part in that. It's always good, fun banter, and I couldn't do it. I have a lot of friends in comedy, people that I've known for a long time, but I don't think our friendship could handle what you and I do. There are fragile people out fragile people, so we can go at each other on that stage to the point where Bobby and Rabbit and Volcanic, and you're on the fucking floor in a fetal position, because that's happened. And then we still have a good time. And I think that our Westward Ho trip, Westward Ho's, was the test because you can't live in a car with somebody from Iowa to California and back. I said then that would either be the last of it or solidify our friendship into cement. I'm glad it was the latter because I've traveled with people I care about, and I didn't speak to them for a year or two after because they commented. So there you go.
Well, I agree with that 100%. I've been on the road with a lot of comics in the past, and one of two things will happen. Either you will bond hardcore, and that's just going to make your comedy and your chemistry that much better. It's going to be that much more fun when you do shows together, or you're going to become complete bitter enemies over stupid shit like she ate her Doritos too loud in the passenger seat.
Right.
Shit like that. Now, speaking of sensitive people, I've been talking about this all week long about how, and I posted something earlier this week about what the number one thing, in my opinion, is that's ruining comedy these days. And a lot of the guesses were centered around politics, politicizing material, or political correctness. Now, I disagree with all of that. I think the number one. What's that?
People being oversensitive.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm bringing up. People are oversensitive about shit. But my the number one thing that I think is ruining comedy these days is people sitting out there in the live audience scrolling on their smartphones while the show is going on when they should be paying attention to the fucking thing. Even if they're not getting their money's worth, they're being distracting from those around them and a little bit disrespectful. It doesn't bother me so much as it bothers me that the fact that the rest of the crowd isn't getting the maximum enjoyment out of it. What do you have to say about people being too sensitive and political correctness? And I bring this up because of the Lisa Lampanelli. Did you hear about the Lisa Lampanelli thing?
I watched the clip, which all I saw was her screaming "get the fuck out" to an audience member, and I didn't know if there's more to it than that, where somebody supposedly approached her with a $100 bill to shut her up.
Right.
And I think that is the result of I want my 5-second minutes of fame on YouTube, because you don't go to a comedy show to pay the comic to shut up.
Agreed.
No matter what she said, whoever walked in there and thought that they were being clever, that guy was a douche.
Agreed.
I don't know what she said to piss him off, but I felt, and everybody I've seen a lot of different opinions, I think she lost her shit a little too hard, because you don't stand there and repeatedly scream, "get the fuck out." I mean, have somebody from the venue get the person out. I don't know how you would come back from that. Let's put it that way. I've had a lot of issues with rude people, and that was pretty volatile. It wasn't offensive, but it was just, it would kill the good vibe. It's like when they take a half-hour intermission between strong comics. All the energy is gone.
Yeah.
So I think she killed the energy with the way she reacted, but I don't know what happened to make her react that way, so I don't feel comfortable assessing the situation 100%. Just from what I saw, that's all I can have an opinion about. I think she overreacted. I think whoever tried to pay her to shut up was an idiot. It's like, you don't go to a comedy show to tell somebody to shut up. Not a comic.
That's right. And and it's especially insulting the $100. Because I've actually had that shit happen to me. And a lot of times that has nothing to do with the quality of the performance. It has everything to do with that you said something at the beginning of the show that they disagree with or they don't like. And so then they lose their sense of humor. Now, nothing after that, no matter what the subject or the premise is, they're not going to get into it. They're not going to let the environment take its desired effect, and they're going to have a sense of humor about it. And I've had that happen to me a few times where, in fact, this happened just like a month and a half ago in Wausau, Wisconsin. A owner of a competing bar was in attendance at the show, and he offered me money to stop the show. I'm like, you dumb fuck, like, I'm going to take your $50 to stop the show when I'm getting paid 10 times that to be here tonight. And Lisa Lampanelli is getting paid in an exponential. Like, let's say there's maybe 2,000 people in the theater. I don't know how many people in the theater, maybe 2,000, maybe 1,000. At, let's say, just $20 a ticket. She's getting what, 20 grand, 40 grand for the night, 400, like whatever the amount is. Like, she's going to fucking throw that away for $100. It's rude. It's insulting. And it's bullshit to all the other people that paid their money to go see a comedy show because one douchebag has an opinion. He can buy off the performer. At the same time, what we're talking about is people being too sensitive. Comics are too sensitive and audience members are too sensitive these days.
Right. I've shut hecklers down with that. Like, how much money do you have on you right now? Because you're going to have to reimburse everybody for their tickets, who now can pay and come into the next show because you ruined this one, and made it pretty clear, like, that's what's going to happen. I mean, obviously I don't have that power, but make them think that they're going to be out money. They usually shut up. But I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I do think people are. I don't know if people think that we take a poll ahead of time. Okay, what subject matter are you okay with? Because they act like if something, they're letting their emotions control their logic. The best example I have is right after my mom died, there was a comedian on stage at our own club doing funeral jokes, and I wasn't ready to hear that kind of humor, and I did get upset. It was my reaction to talking funeral. I had just buried my mom a week before. So I went outside, I grabbed a cigarette, I got my shit together. I come back in, and the club owner said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I have no complaints at all." I didn't, why I didn't complain? Because that guy did not tell those jokes to hurt my fucking feelings.
Yeah.
That was his pre-prepared material. My reaction to it was individualized and personal, so it had nothing to do with that guy. So if I complained to the club owner and get that guy in trouble, because I was headlining, and it was an open micer. If I'd have said anything, I could have, just because of my position in the show, hurt that kid's possibility of getting hired later
Right.
and starting out in comedy. And I don't want that power over somebody. And I wasn't about to let my individual reaction. It was personal. Show.
That's right. It's catering too much to the complaint culture. And as a comedian, you recognize that, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And I will say this as well. I mean, we've been talking about it earlier. Your tenacity, your superpowers, the ability to travel cross country with a jackass like me and still be able to get along. I tell people all the time, and every time I introduce Katrina, I say I had to scour the fucking planet to essentially find the female equivalent to myself. Not that there's not other ones out there, but quite frankly, there's not a lot of other equivalent comedians, male or female, out there to myself. So in order to pull off something like the he said, she said comedy battle of the sexes that we have done now for going on 2 years, maybe almost.
I know, isn't that awesome?
Fucking awesome. It's amazing. And I'll tell you something else. Being able to work with someone of your caliber has made me bring up my level. I've had to raise my game. And then the fact that we do the Q&A at the end of the show where we make up material on the fly, that right there has just been an explosion of creativity in and of itself. And no two shows are ever the same. So for those of you who are interested and are in the north central area of Illinois, come see us this Saturday night at the Rock Falls Eagles Club, June 16th. Katrina Brown and I, the comedy battle of the sexes. We do our encore Q&A with the audience. It's like 2.5 hours, and this is going to be one of those. This is going to be one of those where they do the intermission between us too, because they got a door prize raffle giveaway. But I'll get back up there and win them over before I bring you on stage.
I don't consider our show to be one that is. And I'm talking about comedy clubs in general. There is a set time limit and a specific flow expected. I don't think it's us to do it the way we do it. But I do know the Q&A has made me a better comic because I was coming up with things. I very much relied on the prepared material, and I have a lot of it, but what we've done has made me a better comic, even away from our shows and out on my own, to be better with the unexpected, to be able to. I'm more easygoing than I used to be, and I wasn't all that hard to deal with before our shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So your superpowers have gotten even exponentially more super.
Yes, maybe it's the weed.
All right. Hey, with that said, I got to go start cooking out. What do you got going on the rest of the week?
I have a show with you on Saturday. Dude, I'm not going to do shit till the AC's fixed. I have things I need to do. My house is slowly deteriorating around me, but yeah. I do the dishes and I'm bathed in sweat. If the house is not set up for good airflow, it's a house with central air conditioning, so there aren't, and we don't own a bunch of fans. Why? Because we have central air. With it being broken, even our cats are laying around looking at us all accusatory, like, what are you doing to us? It's fucking miserable. And it's not even the worst of summer. We've actually had uncharacteristically cool days. So I'm like, if it's going to happen, I'm glad it happened now and not in the middle of July. But I'm not going to be really doing shit until we have central air again, which will probably be, at least by Monday, so we'll be good.
All right. Hey, Tim Yarber's here. He's from Azusa Eagles Club. Say hello to Maureen, Katrina Brown, my guest today on the 420 Report, my daily live video blog that I do every day at 4:20 p.m. or as close as possible. We're going to wrap it up now with that. Come see us at the Eagles Club this Saturday night, June 16th, in Rock Falls, Illinois. We've got a lot of cool shit that's happening that night. They're doing a door prize raffle giveaway, lots of fun shit that they're going to be giving away, a lot of cool prizes to be won, not to mention you're going to get 2.5 hours of the most memorable, mind-blowing, funniest comedy experience of your life. And then listen to our daily podcast that we do, Q&A of the day. It's only 5 to 10 minutes long, just a quick little bit of laughs about life, love, relationships, sex, drugs, rock and roll. No topic is taboo for us. We take all comers, and that's about it, man. What else? That's it. Come
I think you covered it all, yeah.
We covered it all. So I want to thank everybody for being here today, shit, and making comments, Troy and Tim and Dee. Dee says, when are you coming back to Azusa? You're going to have to get with the Eagles Club there on that. I'm loyal to him. I'm loyal to him unless some other venue wants to bring in the He Said, She Said comedy show down there. We'd love to come back to the Azusa Eagles Club anytime and blow them out of the water, just like we did the last time we were there. Pack the house, do another Westward Ho tour. This time we'll avoid Yuma, Arizona, because Katrina will probably melt. What else can I say?
Just don't do it in July. That's all I'm saying. Just don't do it in the middle of summer, and I'll be good, because I will die. I will surely die. You will have to bring back my dehydrated, mummified corpse, and I don't think that would make Pat very happy. So,
yeah, that's the smart way to go for us. For two people from Iowa and Ohio in the Midwest,
right?
We need to book a show down south in the wintertime.
Yes.
Yes, we do. Escape this bullshit. Get down there and have some fun. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another 420 Report live video blog. I'm going to continue my thoughts on the whole Lisa Lampanelli controversy. We brought up a little bit of it today. I've only read the article about it. I'd like to see the video, put it all in the context, and then give my opinion tomorrow on a Throwdown Thursday, whether it's educated or whether it's just complete shit talking. Who gives a stuff? Who gives a shit? Either way, it'll be fun to hang out. Either way, it'll be fun. It'll be funny. It'll be interesting. It'll be exciting. It'll be controversial. Spread the word. Katrina Brown and jer-dog at the Rock Falls Eagle Club. Yeah, you bet, girl. Thank you for calling in. I'll see you this Saturday.
Yeah. All right, cool.
And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 4:20 p.m. or as close as possible for Throwdown Thursday on the 420 Report. Thank you very much. Dog bless America. End this live video. Yes, end the live video. Hey, Tim. Hey, Dee. Hey, Marie. Ryan. Randall. Jessica. Everybody. Bye-bye.